Hey there beautiful souls, Avalon here, and I want to talk to you today about the goddess and the role that the goddess has in my particular practice. I follow a goddess wheel, and for some this might be very odd. I get criticized for being out of balance because I don't honor the masculine divine in the same capacity as I do the goddess, the feminine divine. This to me is not a thing. I don't feel out of balance in any way, shape or form. And I do work with you could probably say three. I do work with 2 to 3 male deity, and they happen at different times of the year. In the dark half of the year I work with Odin, and with the light half of the year I work with the Merlin, and all year round I work with Ogun, who is my pai de cabeça. That's why I say 3, because Ogun is mine, and and I'm always with him, and so it doesn't feel like I'm calling him in, or I should count him. He's just part of me and my personal practice and my approach to magic. So really, Ogun is with me at all times, Emanja is with me at all times. Incense behind me, Shango is over here, and I'm constantly surrounded by energy, but I choose to work with 2 particular types of energy in the form of the masculine divine. And my goddess wheel, of course. So I honor a mother goddess, and I have goddesses for every Sabbath. And this is something that I put together, it's something that I put together along with a very, very dear friend of mine, and it's something that works so beautifully for me personally, and it's something that has allowed me to grow tremendously in my practice. I feel that each time the wheel turns and I say goodbye to one goddess and enter into the season of another goddess, that shift can be felt so acutely. And the process of saying goodbye and then saying welcome is really interesting, and it's something that I gauge from the environment around me. I'm very, very earth-based. I'm an elemental practitioner, and I'm very earth-based. I'm very earth-centric. And I take my cues from my natural environment for the expressions that earth gifts me as the seasons flow. And so I take my cues from the natural world, and I feel the calling of the new goddess as a byproduct of these changes that I see within the natural world around me, my natural geographic location. And I think that my natural geographic location is something that has taken time for me to get to know. If I were to move from here to a different state where the seasons were slightly different, I live in the tropics here, it's very hot and humid, and I'm just accustomed to the way that things occur here, the rhythm in the seasons here. I've been here for a couple of years now, 4 or 5 years, and so it's taken me time to get to know the seasons. But if I were to move, I'd have to begin all over again, because what I look for as a cue is very subtle, and it took years to actually identify, and so I would have to go through that process all over again if I were to move. But it's a beautiful thing having a wheel of your very own, and I highly recommend putting together a wheel of your very own. A wheel of goddesses, a wheel of practice, a wheel that coincides with the pagan wheel of the year, the witch's wheel of the year. Working at customizing your own wheel is really, really beautiful and such a beneficial tool. I have gone the route of the goddess. The goddess plays a tremendous role in my practice for various reasons. I feel so much more comfortable working with the feminine divine. I get so much more nourishment working with the feminine divine, and I get so much more stern growth, particularly when working with the Dark Mother at the darker times of the year. And that is something that my path has reflected that, my practice has reflected that really beautifully, with a sense of satisfaction that is unbridled. It's unparalleled. This beautiful, deep satisfaction and this kinship that I have now, more than ever, with the feminine divine and with the concept of the goddess. And it also enables me to focus and to learn in a very practical sense. By crafting a goddess wheel, it is my business to know absolutely everything that I can about the goddesses that are populating my wheel, right? And so it enables me then to delve deep into deity study, into mythology and legend and poem and song, and to really learn about the personalities or the archetypes that I am calling or associating to a season. It's a beautiful way to grow in your practice, and it's something that I would highly recommend. Not necessarily a goddess wheel, but a wheel of your very own that you can customize. And if you choose to have a goddess wheel, then I highly recommend that you choose goddesses that you find to be inspiring, that call the best from you, that you believe are going to push you in your practice, that are going to take you out of your comfort zone, that are going to get you to grow and inspire you in a way that your usual energies don't, okay? Now, in the world of goddesses, there is no better and no worse. There is just what calls to you. And the Wheel of the Year makes it quite simple to choose energies, deity, goddess energies that are in alignment with those particular influences at those particular times of the year. So the 8 Sabbaths, it's quite simple when you think about it to choose expressions of the feminine divine that line up well, that resonate well with particular times of the year. And that's precisely what I did for myself. I'm not comfortable divulging the goddesses that I have within my wheel. That's something really for me personal and private, because it is a very personal and private thing, kind of like a diary. But I highly recommend the practice of creating a goddess wheel and trying it out and trying and working with it and constructing a wheel that can help you grow in your practice and teach you new skills and get you to fundamentally shift your comfort zone. As for the goddess, I choose to primarily work with the goddess as a personal choice to me. I do work with the masculine and feminine like I described before. The masculine, obviously, in a smaller dose, but I do believe that the presence of the masculine divine in my wheel can be felt quite easily because I have chosen archetypes that really, really bring strength and ancient wisdom. And that to me is enough for right now. Whether or not that changes in future is neither here nor there. I'm simply going with what feels right for this moment in my life. And what feels right for this moment in my life is to get to know the feminine divine in a way that is different to how I have chosen to work with her in the past. This is a much more personal approach. It's intimate. It feels intimate. By selecting goddesses to populate your wheel and then calling on those goddesses at times of Sabbath celebrations, you are going to find that there is a closeness, an intimacy that occurs between you and an archetype that might not have been there before. For those of you who work with a matron, then this is something that you will be very familiar with. And it's a beautiful thing, wouldn't you say? But for those of you who don't work with deity, I would ask you to try this. To try a goddess wheel, or to try a god and goddess wheel, or to try to create your own wheel in a way that is reflective of who you are at this moment in time. And allow for change in the future. Nothing is set in stone here. Spirituality is not about finding a plateau and standing on that plateau and then being there for the rest of your life. It's about growth. It's a spiritual journey. And it's a beautiful one. And then to try different things, to introduce different things, different practices, different perspectives, different approaches, it only adds to that journey and it only gets you growing in your craft. And you will find if it works, and if it doesn't work. And if it doesn't work, then you chuck it to the side. If it works, then you tuck it into your little bag of your witch's repertoire. But the goddess is something that is very important in my practice, and as the time in my life that I'm in right now, where I'm a mother of 3, I need all the feminine divine energy that I can possibly muster right now. I need the calm, I need the wild, I need it all. I need all the archetypes at different times of the year to help me navigate the waters of life as a mother. And being a mother is an incredibly intense thing, and it is something that took me by surprise, the intensity of which took me by surprise, of course. And it's something that I work with each and every day. And then having a goddess to support me during not only my spiritual practice, but also my aspects of motherhood, which is by definition an expression of the goddess, the mother aspect of the triple goddess. It makes me feel much more connected and much more understood. And it provides me this inner strength that is so welcome at a time in my life where there is more chaos than there is strength. It's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing that happens. But I have found that working with the goddess has transformed my practice. It has helped me to soften my approach, even my methods of communication with friends, with family, and with my children. I can be a very intense human being. I am very stern. I anger, and I just get psychotically angry because I rage on the inside. I just rage. And I have found that by working consistently with the sacred feminine, that I have been able to help ease or cool some of that rage, to cage the rage, as people like to say it, and it's a beautiful thing. I've been able to find a middle ground as far as my emotional output goes. Not 100% of the time, but 90% of the time, which is a hell of a lot better than 10% of the time. I have this middle ground now. I don't react intensely so quickly now. There's this middle ground that occurs, and the middle ground is the balance, is the mindful point. And the mindfulness occurred because of thousands of meditations with the goddess, thousands of journeys, thousands of methods of visualization, thousands of acceptance into witches' temples, and just so much work that came as a result of my work with the goddess and my goddess wheel, right? Now, I know that other people do the goddess wheel as well. The goddess wheel, the concept of it is very Avalonian in its tradition. The Avalonian tradition has a beautiful goddess wheel. Kathy Jones has written a fantastic book on the Avalonian tradition. The goddess, let me see if I can find the book from here. No, I can't see it from there. No, and no. To be fair, I don't have my glasses on, so I'm probably looking directly at it, and then I don't know. But Kathy Jones wrote a beautiful book on the goddess tradition, and there's reference to the goddess wheel of the year. There's also the goddess wheel of the year on the internet. I think you can pretty much get it at the Avalonian tradition. If you type in Avalonian tradition, the goddess wheel, you will see the goddess wheel, and you will see how they've laid out their goddess wheel. So if it helps you to have a reference, then I suggest you go there. In fact, I will put the link in the description bar below to that wheel, and it will get you to understand what I'm doing. And if you want to, and feel free to tweak it as much as you like. Feel free to add balance. If you find that you absolutely need to work with the god, the masculine divine in your spiritual practice, add him in there. Find a great spot for him. Find an arrangement, like a Rubik's Cube. Just find the little formula that works for you, specifically for you. Tweak it for you. Use a pantheon that speaks to you. Use an eclectic approach to pantheons, multi-pantheons if you choose to do so. If you don't want to use pantheons, use totem animals. If you don't want to use totem animals, use elementals and mythical creatures. I mean, you can really work this in your own way. So something fell down outside my window and I'm curious to know what it is. Anyways, I'm going to leave it at that, and I sincerely hope that you've been inspired in some way about what I have said or by what I have said, and if you choose to put together your own goddess wheel, then let me know. Facebook it, Instagram it, tag me in it, whatever it is, well, whatever it is that you do. Just let me know, and I'd love to see it, and I'd love to see where you go with it. And if you already do this, let me know. And you might not want to share the exact formula, but just let me know. Let me know how you personally work it. So with all of that said and done, guys, thanks for sticking with me. Much love, many blessings. Mwah. Bye.